Welcome back to NASCAR Heat 5 and the first race in the round of 8 for the Truck Series. Here we go. We are currently first in the standings. I believe we have some extra points for playoffs grid. Yeah, we're up 46 points because of our victories, which really helps us to stay there, heading towards the championship. This week, we are running a speedway. So we actually have a perfect 100 across the board car or truck for that. Depending on if we are victorious here and or at Talladega, is actually going to determine what we do at Martinsville. Because if we're in it for Phoenix, the championship race, we may have preserved our short track truck for that whole time. So we have the top-notch short track truck we can have going into Phoenix. Not sure yet, but that's kind of a look at where we're standing right now. We got to get 2 top 5s in 3 races for almost $30,000 incentive. Not much else to talk about, folks. We just need to get out here, win this race, and that'll remove any issues that we have with what we need to do. So let me get out there, do a little bit of practice, and you will see me at qualifying. All right, so I practiced yesterday, and I was in the low 32s. The fact that we were able to get this thing to run at 31.376, and actually we were in the 31.3s multiple laps in practice, is just going to have to be enough. I feel really good. I put a setup in this that I found online. It's a 3-gear setup, which is fine. It runs really well. The reason why the 3rd gear and not going to 4th matters is I barely have to let off the gas at all to get a lot of slowdown, which is really good. Or not a lot, but a decent amount of slowdown. In comparison, your 4th gear, you almost don't have the RPMs to really get away with doing that. And you consider hitting the brakes and things like that. So we put together good laps. We weren't a top 5 in the goal, but we did a really good job here. So we're going to go ahead and do our qualifying. I mean, we're right now 3/10 roughly, just under 3/10 outside of the whole qualifying position. So maybe we could get that top 5. I'm not sure, but it's pretty tight racing. All right, here we go, heading through that tri-oval. Qualifying lap is now underway. See if I can get a good angle in here and hold it down. You don't, I watched the whole video on it because I was running really slow in practice yesterday. So bad that I actually walked away, and that's why I'm recording on a new day. The Phoenix race on above me, messed that up, tapped the apron just a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't affect me too much, but it might. What are we gonna end up with here? 31.4. See, that's within reason of where we were. 9th place, as you're all well aware. Qualifying doesn't denote the race. Got a good chance of getting up and running with the leaders in short order. Looks like Enfinger and Kenseth both right up top. Same time within the thousands. So that's pretty awesome. Gary Norton, Max Cost, Matt Malone round out your top 5. David Schildhaus 7th. We're in 9th. Casey Kane in 10th. Bryce Egan 11th. Jeremiah Graham 12th. Michael Chavez 13th. John Perez 15th. Bernardo de Oliveira, nice showing for that team, 17th. Parker Smith 19th. Lance Nolrick 21st. Eliza Bethel 23rd. Taylor Carpenter 30th. Beanie Jones 31st. Bradshaw Stout comes in 32nd. Well, here we go. Pre-race information for the World of Westgate 200. Matt Kenseth, engine change after qualifying, loses the pole. Goes to the back. Jason White in the back as well. Looking for pre-race inspection failure. And David Schildhaus. Wow, lots of news here. Top running trucks all moving to the back. That's going to put us in 7th place to start this race.
You're coming to the green.
That's a big deal.
Ready. Hammer down. Green's out. Car outside.
Let's see if I can get on the inside of hill on the apron since we're here. And actually, if I can get around costs and avoid any massive hits, we might be able to take the lead right off the bat just from a unique gear ratio, and we will. Question is, can we keep it up here? I'm not sure. We're going to do what we can, that's for sure. This is the bad part. This is where these drivers usually 3 and 4, and that's where the frustration came from. They're so good in 3 and 4. No matter what I do, so I'm hoping I made some changes, like I said, so I'm hoping that it does change the whole thing for me here. Otherwise, hopefully we get just such a huge drive off of 1 and 2 that it doesn't matter for 3 and 4, but we're going to try to do whatever we can to keep this number 48 truck sitting out front here. Oh, that was actually a super good, and he still gained a 10th on us. Unbelievable. But if we can get just big gains through the rest of it, we should be all right. Yeah, we're doing all right. Run in the middle here, keep a lot of speed in it. Come out, gain another 10th on Gary Norton. We've really just dropped everybody else behind us very well. Want to keep it. All right, we're looking pretty all right now, and I'm happy about that. We'll be into lap traffic probably in handful, probably 15 laps or so, I'd assume. Most important thing we could do here is put together just a bunch of quality laps. Yeah, up to 9/10 on second place. This is a huge deal for us. This was not happening in practice yesterday. We were getting absolutely, our doors were getting blown off. That I went out to the interwebs, clickety-clacked out there and found a setup and watched the driver go around just to kind of get an idea of what worked for them, what speeds they had carrying through the turns, things like that. And they did a really good job. I messed that one up, and honestly, in this one, if you miss them, you end up in a bad spot. So we have to make sure that we're not missing our turn-ins. It's super important that you turn in at the right points. Looks like Max Cost and Grant Enfinger are having it out right now behind us. We got 25 remaining in stage number 1. And it's just no give in this track. I mean, we have to run almost as perfect as possible throughout. I know we're driving away from the pack, but that's so much to do with we are running just absolutely amazing laps right now overall for this truck, as we are not giving up the time through 3 and 4 to Gary Norton. That's biggest thing is, well, we gave up a 10th there, but I mean, there we are in the 31 low 4s, which has kind of been our thing. So it's working out pretty good. The nice thing is that I mean, I can't tell you how barely I'm coming off of the throttle as we're going around those turns. Just enough, and it's working out for us. Actually, on this one, I'm coming off too early, and that's going to affect us a little bit more. Take a look at the tire wear. Oops, little touch there. Maybe let's not look at the tire wear. 20% down in 10 laps. I mean, we should be good, but it's a little concerning. Ooh, that's a bad job. A lot of laps in this race. A lot of laps. So we'll do, I think, 30, 60, and 70. Or 30, 30, and 70 is, I think, how this race goes. That was a bad job by me again. But we still kept a lot of speed through there. But as you can see, we gave up a 10th. I don't know. I mean, 2 tenths now. So bad. One bad turn gives up 2 tenths. That's not great. Got to really arc it in there, and I didn't do it that time either. I brought it in pretty shallow, so we'll just have to keep that in mind. Go to the top of the track. Bring it down. Enfinger out of the top 5. Not sure what happened to him in that team, but now Stuart Friesen is the only other playoff driver up in the top 5. And looking at the pits, I don't see him in there, so maybe he just... Oh, yeah. No, there he is. Race over, probably. No, that's not him. That's the pit... Oh, come on, Tony. That's a pace car. We're all right. We're all right. We're all right. All right. Pay attention, because that was how quick that was. Slight contact with the wall did it all. And honestly, with the rivals we have, we really need to keep this truck just out front. Because otherwise, you saw what happened at Bristol. I mean, it's just banging around the whole time if we can't get around the drivers. So I'm hoping that we can just... And I'm pretty sure we run here in the Xfinity series, and we don't run a special setup there, so it's gonna be a rough race. I think we're getting a bit of tire wear now, so I gotta pay more attention to what I'm doing here, because That last set of turns, we shot right up. We got pretty tight and shot right up, and then we're loose off, which was interesting. Yeah, 5/10 slower on that lap. That's a big deal. There we go. Yeah, we slowed down even more there. So is this the spot where Norton's going to start catching us? I don't know. I hope not. Oh, caution comes out. Of course, we're going to stay out. Yeah, we're going to stay out. Nice thing is we get a nice jump with the gear ratio we have, and because we have no one in front of us, it should be pretty good.
All right, now, be smart out there. Going green. Almost ready. Hammer down. Green's out. Outside.
Oh, it's actually really important we get around Norton because he was coming down to push us. He's not a friend, you know, so we got to do what we got to do. Keep our foot right in it through 1 and 2 here. Not even close to max speed going through those 2 turns, even with worn tires. And, you know, we're about a second closer than we were. Not exactly where I want to be. But we'll push it and see where we get here. It still worked out fairly well. How many laps do we have left in stage number 1? 15 laps. That's the halfway point. So we're going to go ahead and expect the final stage of the race to be a lot more camera time. We're out front. We're driving well so far. So let's speed things up. We'll be back on the mic with you at the end of stage number 1.
Out, wave them off.
I'm actually kind of glad that caution came out because the little jump that we had gotten kind of fell apart right there for us. We're going to go, oh, Bryce Egan out again. Second race in a row. Unfortunate for the 25 crew. Not sure what's going on there. We're going to go ahead and go right to a speed up for the last 8 laps of stage number 1. And we'll be back with you again when this stage concludes.
Good job.
Norton clipped us coming out at 2, causes a wreck. That's gonna clear out stage number 1 and give us the victory. Mike Harmon must have caused the caution the first time. He does not pit. He'll come out in first place. Hopefully he doesn't just drive up the track into us. Hopefully we get enough of a jump for it not to matter. Well, he got a pretty nice jump there, but here we go. We go into 1 and 2, started stage number 2. And that's exactly what we were hoping. Trucks that did not pit are, they put us in a pretty good spot there because we got a nice jump. David Schildhouse up to second place. Austin Hill, another playoff driver, right up there. 27 to go here. So we are continuing our dominance on this track so far, but I messed that up really bad, so Schildhouse should get something coming up. Yeah, as you get later in the run, although you are a lot looser, a lot more out of control, you actually don't have to break through 3 and 4. You do, or not brake, but come off the gas through 3 and 4. You definitely have to do it early in the race. Just trying to figure this out. I mean, we have a nice lead right now over second place, but I'd like to keep it going. It's not going great. I got to work on keeping it off the wall coming out of 4. We take the full wall probably 3 or 4 times in stage number 1. Of course, that affects the truck's speed with the arrow. This is a speedway track. It does matter. Technically, you can get up in the draft if you're rolling behind other trucks. So... here we go. That was nice. 3 and 4, and we're really starting to separate ourselves from part of the group. We got a lot different setup coming out in 2nd through 5th than we had in stage number 1. Let's see how that pans out. Is it going to last, or are we going to see another shakeup as the stage goes on? Right now, that's kind of what I got. I'm watching the relative, making sure we're not giving up time to Schildhaus. Hoping that we have a clean stage here overall. We just keep driving, maybe get into the lap traffic a little, separate ourselves a little bit more, make it comfortable for us. We do have 1 truck out of the race, only 1 truck out of the race, and that is unfortunate for Bryce Egan and the 25 crew. He's had, since they failed to make the round of 8, they failed by wrecking out in the last race. He's backwards on the track at one point. Still don't know what happened there. Never will, but all we know is that he was out of the race because of it. And then now he's out in the next race as well. Early out in stage number 1. You hope that when they enter the Xfinity Series next season, it's a lot different situation overall. And they have some more luck going forward. Because that team was in the playoffs on points, and they were doing a very good job of sticking around. So, other notable, again, David Schildhaus. He is a custom driver, and he made it into the playoffs, and he's running in 2nd, looking to get to that round of 4, maybe even looking to battle it out in the championship. We'll find out. Or is that how it works here, actually? It might be, right? Round of 4 is the championship 4. Maybe that's what it was. I couldn't remember. But come to think of it, with so few races left, if we win this one, we will absolutely just do what we need to do. Wow, another caution. Oh, Schildhaus is pitting. Interesting. Was he the one that brought out the caution? Well, hopefully Schildhaus isn't out of it, because that would be a huge knock to the team. It looks like he's not out of the race, at least. And DNF is much worse than even finishing lower in the whole thing. We'll see if he makes his way back up. We've only got 1 other competitor up in the top 5 with us in Austin Hill. Get right back to it. Of course, I had just said how much I really hoped that this was going to be a clean stage 2, and we already had a caution. What does that leave us with in stage number 2 for laps left? Matt Crafton, by the way, peeking his head, 17 left, peeking his head into the top 5. So basically, it's me, Austin Hill, and Matt Crafton in your final 4 that I know right now. But yeah, I'm an idiot. It doesn't go 4-2. It goes final 4. So I think if we win this race, we're going to go ahead and just make sure that our truck for Phoenix is maxed out, that short track truck. We'll run our super speedway truck at Talladega next race, no big deal. But then the better one will be when we run at Martinsville. We probably won't run our short track truck if we win here or at Talladega, because that's going to mean that we want to have just the best truck we can as we go to Phoenix. Last season, Phoenix, if I recall, wasn't great for us. We battled it out to get to where we got to, but it wasn't a great experience overall. We didn't have nearly the truck we have now, so hopefully it won't matter as much going into this. Now, let me not count my chickens before they're hatched. The DNFs we've had this year have all come at the end of the race. So I also have to keep that in mind. 15 laps left in stage number 2. We've got a long stage 3 coming in, final stage of the race. And I'm starting to feel the tires already. as they're down in the 70s. They're just, I feel like they're warm, a little slick, not getting nearly what we're used to out of them. I was trying to see if I could hold on to it a little bit longer there, and I was. Coming off, I'm wiggling the wheel. And I think I need to be turning in a little earlier into 1 and 2. Three and 4, we're doing pretty well with. I mean, we're driving away, which is great. Like I said in practice yesterday, there was just nothing I could do. I had the UNC Duke game about to come up. I had to go pick up dinner. You know, a whole bunch of stuff was going on, but I was going to run this race, and I got into practice, and I was running for a long time because I know that it's a challenge race, and I'm taking it real seriously because we've got the championship on the line. I just don't want to be in the Truck Series next year, and I'll be there, and I'll give it everything I have next season if we don't win this championship. But I'd like to move on to the Xfinity Series only and be able to focus on that for a while with our new team that will start next season. So would love to win the championship this year, get away from all these rivals, and continue to races. Speaking of rivals, Matt Kenseth, Max Cost, 2 rivals sitting in the 2nd and 3rd position right behind us. So that's the type of thing that I'm talking about that I just don't want to have to deal with next year if they get to me. Just like earlier in the race, Gary Norton got to me and slammed into our back end. It cost him at the end of the stage when he did it. He tried to clip our fender at the end of the stage as well, and he ended up wrecking and finishing 3rd instead of 2nd. You know, it's the intelligence there or lack thereof because of the way that they made the AI in this one for rivals. That's just ridiculous. But again, and I mentioned this pretty much every single race, our relationships with the drivers in the Xfinity are flawless, and we've run more races in the Xfinity Series now than we do in a whole season of the Truck Series. So just an example of how much better we are doing, knowing how that system works. And yes, we do have it turned on. You see the change in relationships, but they've only been going up because the contact we have with drivers is minor at best. You know, a little side bumping or stuff. Maybe every once in a while, a little bump in the back, but nothing that's major. And thankfully, with our 3-star team success, we've been able to come out and do really well. So that works out pretty good. Not a lot of laps left in stage number 2, so let's do a little brief speed up. 9 laps. We'll be back for the end of stage number 2. All right, sweeping the stages. Let's get the victory in this one to ensure our spot, I believe, in the championship. Schildhouse making his way back up to 4th place. Wow, good job for that team. Remember, he was brought out of caution at one point and had to pit, went to the back of the pack. So to move his way all the way back up and do what he's done is pretty impressive. Sun is completely gone. Track is cooled down here as we start stage number 3, the final stage of the race here at Las Vegas. Almost said Phoenix because I'm watching the Phoenix race. That'd be silly. Got a nice lead to start this one. As usual, just the gear ratio does that. 70 laps remaining in the race on the dots. We're going to have to pit one time. Got 46 in the tank. I don't think we can make it 46, to be honest, so at least 35 is the goal. I don't know how long we can make it. Well, we might be able to do 46 considering we were at about 40% tire left. We've run it all the way down before. Remember Atlanta? What a great race. What a great race that was. Early in the season, we didn't even have a fully upgraded truck at the time, and we literally drove the tires off that truck. I'm interested to see how this is not going to translate actually in the Xfinity series, because there will be no custom setup. We won't be able to run through these turns like we are right now. Looks like Casey Kane out of the race, by the way. Don't know what happened there, but it did not bring out a caution, so that's interesting as well. Max Koss, Gary Norton, Matt Kenseth, 3 rivals all in the top 4 positions right behind us, and that's enough for me to say, hey, I gotta do whatever it takes to keep this truck up here, because these boys, if they catch me, it's not just gonna be passing me, it's gonna be wrecking me. We don't want that. So doing the best we can with what we got, and it's worked out pretty darn well right now. And hopefully that'll continue. Hopefully the next time, if we get into lap traffic, we'll be able to make it through it without issue as well. I know we got into lap traffic, and it was on me. I turned down into Carpenter, turned a little early, misjudged it, and ran into him. Wasn't a big deal. No damage to him, no damage to us, but it didn't look pretty. Did not look pretty, but here we are. Doing very well as we've swept both stages. I think we've led every lap in this race so far, so will we continue to do that? I'm not sure, but as it stands right now, we certainly are making a solid argument that that will be the case. As this season dwindles down for both the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, I get excited knowing that next season we'll start our own Xfinity team, and you'll see an entire, well, not an entirely new roster. Some of the drivers will still be there, but for the most part, you'll have all different drivers, all different paint schemes going into the Xfinity Series in the next season. So stay tuned for that, especially all you newcomers. Look forward to seeing the 2023 drivers in the Xfinity Series. This game came out 2020, 2021, so the drivers are a little bit aged from where they were during those seasons. And there's different drivers in the cars, and also we have our subscriber drivers moving up from the Truck Series into the Xfinity Series, looking to hopefully get 3, maybe 4 seasons out of the Xfinity Series. We absolutely will probably only get 1 or 2 seasons out before we're in the Cup Series as well. But once we're in the Xfinity Series, I'm good being there for a while regardless. I want to walk out of there with 2 championships on Legend difficulty. I would have done the same thing in the Truck Series. We're working towards, this is Legend difficulty right now. We're working towards number 1 championship. But I'll also say that the biggest problem that's come up is the way I started this series. For all you newcomers, we've had 1,500 new over the last couple months. So I'll give you guys a quick description if you haven't heard about it. We thought that bump drafting was okay. We're doing a lot of shoving and pushing to get, and cars were benefiting from it, and I wasn't wrecking anybody. However, the first couple races, I bumped people, pushed them up to get them ahead of other cars or trucks so I could get ahead of them, and I made a lot of enemies real early. Once we had a handful of enemies, we were getting bumped and pushed into other trucks on the track, and of course that only ruined my relationship with those other trucks on the track as well. And so we ended up with, I think, 13 rivals out of 32 trucks. And actually, I think it's continued to get worse simply because when you're around rivals, they'll do whatever it takes to wreck you. And, you know, it causes it. They're coming up behind you. They'll run into your back end and shove you in the truck in front of you, and that makes that person mad as well. So just dealing a lot with that has been a big issue overall, and I would stay in this series if it wasn't like that for another season just to get that potential second championship. But because it's like that, I just can't wait to get out of this series. Nothing I do, because they continuously hit you, so your rivalry stuff never gets better. Your relationship with the drivers never gets better, and it's not good. It's just not good overall. So here we are, though. Doing a great job here so far today. Keeping away from all those rival drivers by just staying out front. Stuart Friesen is a friend. He's not just even kind or neutral. He is actually a friend of ours. So him being in second place is a buffer. If he were to catch us, it wouldn't be terrible. I mean, hopefully he doesn't catch us, but I'm saying if he were one of the trucks to catch us, we wouldn't have to worry too much, simply because he is friendly with us. He's a friend. So got that buffer from him. Now, of course, a tenth of a second behind him, so right there is Gary Norton. He'll do whatever it takes to wreck us. Congratulations to Norton, also getting himself back up in the top 3 after he slammed into our rear fender in stage 1 and spun out. I didn't know if he was going to make it back up because he had some repairs to do on that truck and wasn't showing up in the top 5. We've now got 3 championship contending drivers in the top 5, and Stuart Friesen, myself, and David Schildhaus. Gary Norton, Matt Kenseth, of course, putting up their feelings on how maybe they feel like they should have been in the playoffs as well, as they're putting in some really... Gary Norton's had really just a great showing over the last 5 or so races, maybe even more. And good for that team. I feel like that'll carry over into the Xfinity Series, and they'll be one of those teams to watch. Good news will be we'll be driving next to them without contact and without them trying to murder us, so it'll be good, clean racing between the two of us, so that'll be good. We look forward to that. Well, that was an amazing set of turns right there. We never got below 173. Catching up to lap traffic here as we've got 56 left in this one. Truck feels fantastic. Everything feels smooth. Would love to put down all 40 plus laps on this run and not have to worry about tire wear at the end of the next run. Looks like we're handling it pretty well, though, folks. We are catching lap traffic, driving away from the trucks behind us. I cannot tell you, yesterday it was not good, but again, we could not run into the 31s. This setup was a big deal. Then I had to watch how he drove the setup. A 3-gear setup to me is really weird, but it works, and it's a game, and that's why he obviously figured out how it works. You could probably do a 4-gear setup on here just fine as well, but he figured out how to make it work, and that's a big deal. We're gonna get on the apron to avoid Carpenter this time. Stout is an issue. Harmon is right there. That's an issue for us. We got to pay attention to those things. Gonna get a nice run out of here. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to get... Nope, he was there. Dang, that's on me. Thought I could squeeze. I wasn't able to. Now he's gonna come down onto us going into the next turn. No, we got around him. Here we go. That worked out. That could have been a lot worse. We lost a couple tenths by Norton there, but we'll get him back. We'll be all right. Parker Smith in front of us right now. I don't know if that's Jordan Anderson in front of him. It's kind of a distance away. Trying to catch up. Yeah, 2.9 seconds now. We gained a bunch of time with the lappers there. That's a big deal. Can I get around Parker Smith before he runs? Cool. Because he's one of those that if he was on side of us as we came out of the turn, he would have tried to drive us up into the wall. Well, is that Rayum? That might be Rayum. Rayum is a friend as well. so he won't try to wreck us. And I'm going to try to get into his draft. Oh, I don't like that he's running that high. Never mind. Can't do anything with him doing that. He's running the high line all the way around. Interesting. Well, I guess low line is super bumpy as you see the camera going crazy. And Stuart Friesen caught us quite a bit by me trying to run that higher line. That was dumb. That was dumb of me. See if I can kind of get that back right now. What do we got left in the tank? 26 in the tank. 50 laps left in the race. Yeah, let's do a speed up because we want to see the last 25 of the race, especially after pit stops. It might be a lot closer. We're going to go ahead and do a speed up right now. We'll be back on the mic with you when we all start to pit or when a caution comes out. I'm sure if a caution comes out in the next 7 or 10 laps, it's going to be when everybody pits for the final time. So there we go. I knew the caution was going to come out. I got inside. She drove down on me. I should have known better. I mean, it wasn't my fault. Trust me, I would have taken blame. I drove inside. I had plenty of room. She drove down on me because it was before the turn, as rivals do. Anyway, I'd have been okay with it, but I don't know. I didn't want the caution to come out, is what I'm trying to say.
You're coming to the green. Are you ready here? Green, green, green.
Well, I don't think we have to pit again. So that'll be interesting. 44 to go. 48 in the tank. So yeah, we don't have to pit again. Stuart Friesen, third. David Schildhouse, fourth. Austin Hill comes up into the top 5. There's your current championship 4 if the race ended this way. This is going to be the longest potential run of the day for us as we will be putting 44 laps on these tires. And that could be detrimental at the end of this race as we're going to be real loose. And that's kind of what we experience. So it'll be interesting. Matt Crafton now up in the top 5 as David Schildhouse has fallen out. Not sure what happened with the 20 truck there, but we will see. Now Crafton out, Gary Norton back up in the top 5. Paying attention to everything going on right now. The relative matters just to see who's going to be up there, who's competing, who do we have to worry about catching us potentially. So far we're doing all right, but that was a real shallow entrance, or I entered too. My angle of attack was too high, so my entrance ended up being shallow all the way through. I didn't arc it in enough, is what I'm trying to let you know. I only explain that to you guys because if you wonder why sometimes it doesn't work out for you, just watch me race because it's usually wrong. Just kidding. I mean, obviously we do an all right job out here. We're vying for a championship, season number 2 with the truck, legend difficulty. We're not a terrible driver, but we definitely have made our fair share of mistakes at a time or one time or another where we could have won. We could have won at the road course. That was my fault, not Gary Norton's. Good for him on winning that. He hit us, but he hit us after we screwed up. We've had DNFs late in the race that we should have, had much better positions, and it's cost us. So it's just all that stuff overall that we got to pay attention to. David Schildhouse back in the top 5. Matt Crafton drops out, and now we only see 3 of the 4 championship potential drivers here. $39 laps left to go in this one, and I really do hope that it goes green the whole way, not just because we're in the lead. I'd like to get into lap traffic again. I like it. I like lap traffic. I like the challenge, of the driving. We've got a lot of racing, and we've gotten a lot of racing without speeding anything up. We had just sped up a little bit there, but it just didn't really give us a lot. So we're actually going to speed things up until 20 to go unless something happens in the interim. And so in 18 laps, not too many, we'll be back on the mic with you guys, all right? Enjoy the hopefully dominant performance by this 48 crew. Caution comes out here. 22 laps were remaining, so we'll be back on the mic as soon as we get back from this restart. Sucks because we had pulled out to a 3-second lead over Friesen. Now everything is reset. Man, right before the lap before with Bethel, we didn't have contact with her at all, but it looked like we purposely went wide and then came in. We were completely out of control coming out of 2. And we came up behind and we were able to get control enough to get onto her inside and drive past her. But wow, it looked smooth. It was not. We were wildly out of control. We got to keep that in mind. Tires cooled down a little bit here while we did our pace laps. We, scrubbed off the dirt, but it doesn't matter. Here we go. Final 20 laps of the race, 19 to go. And this is the most important part of the race for us. I mean, all the work we've done leading, I think, every single lap of this race. And it comes down to, can we finish this thing out with everybody right on us? It's going good, going good, going good. Just watching everything. Truck feels good when we're not around traffic. Truck felt fine with traffic. Oh! Caution came out, and it looks like it was John Perez and that City Racing team, not City Chevrolet. He's not driving the Chevrolet. He's in a Toyota. He's in a Toyota for the, he's got the Chevrolet logo on this one, but we actually did change it up going into next season, had a conversation with him. He was going to switch over to Chevrolet, and I said, hey, I changed your logo to not reference Chevrolet at all. City Racing can be City Racing. An homage to Days of Thunder without having it be a Chevrolet, because he likes Toyota and he's allowed to do that. So we made the adjustment. He's running a Supra in next season, same number 64 with that blue and green, or not blue and green, green and yellow accent blended from Days of Thunder. And that team looks to have a better career as we enter Xfinity. He was one of our rivals, and for some reason, seemingly a much more aggressive rival than the other ones. There's been a couple of them that have been really Jeremiah Graham, Max Cost, I would even say definitely Gary Norton, and then John Perez, probably the 4 biggest, and Mike Harmon, the 5 biggest of the rivals that have been super affected or have affected us a lot or the most in our races. So good, very much glad that this is almost over, and we're all going to be just racing hard in the next series. Not to say that we won't end up with a rival or two. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I mean, it looks like we're going to get through this whole first season, the Xfinity Series, racing inside of with all the cars. I mean, we've been up front, we've been in the middle, we've been in the back. We've made relationships with everybody, and it's been good. So let's just hope that we can keep having that relationship with all those drivers when we change them out into the new series, and it'll work out that way. That's what I'm hoping for. 14 to go in this race, and we are not driving away from Stuart Friesen at all right now. So this has been, well, we got a little bit there. That's kind of why I was looking forward to the lap traffic. We got a couple tenths on him through 1 and 2 there. Can we maintain it through 3 and 4 is the question. At least hang on to that 8/10 lead. Looks like looks like we didn't. So this race is not over, although we have 7/10 lead over Friesen. He is not going away, as we've kind of driven away from everyone else. And we'll get 2 tenths here. Is it going to last, though, because we slowed down quite a bit? Nope. Gave a 10th right back. Oh, if it just stays between 7 and 8 tenths the whole time, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. Actually, this might be even better. Nope, 7 tenths again. Let's drop it down on the apron. See if we can gain a 10th back on him here. See if we can, yeah, there goes 2 tenths. Coming out of 2. Slowed down a little bit more than we'd like to. Car kind of dug in there, actually. I had stopped turning and the car kept turning because we were losing it. But we got it up to a 2nd for now. All right. Yeah, we just don't have the drive out of 2 now. It's working because nobody else does either. Everyone's on worn tires. And as a matter of fact, we're on more worn tires at this point than we have been the whole race, I bet. Yeah, we are, which becomes a concern. We're at 25% on that right rear. We have 10 to go.
Keep it nice and smooth for it.
Time to kind of start watching this because we're about to get the notification we've got too much wear on that right rear. And we can't slow it down or they will catch and pass us. Now, if it does just, if it does 2% per lap, I'm fine. Well, not fine. We'll cut it close, but if we're doing 3% per lap, then we got a problem. And that was 3% right there. So we're going to slow it up a little bit. Or try to. I don't know. Oh, this could be This could be really bad for us, actually. This was what I was worried about. We got huge gain on Stuart Friesen there, and then lost it right away. 20%. So that was only 2% that time. So slowing down for 1 and 2 seemed to do it. And then we'll just do this through here and yeah, we're hanging it. I mean, 1% there. Get another 1%. We should be all right. I hope. We got a 1.4 second lead. Lost a little there. It seems like when we come off the gas in 1 and 2 early, we still gain because we're able to get a good drive off. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to come completely off the gas and then get on it midway through, and hopefully it'll be okay. I don't know, guys. We're not going to watch that. We're going to watch this. I'm nervous. We're going to blow our tire before the end of this race. We got 16%, and I think we have 8 to go, right? Or is it 7? 6? Oh, that's okay. We're looking okay, right? Meow. Sort of.
Your tires are getting pretty bad.
Yeah, man, we know. We are terrified. We got someone in the wall in front of us. I'm going to say that's Taylor Carpenter with a blown tire, and I can't do anything about this. We're going to have less laps to go. We can't pit. But we should have like 2 to go maybe at the line. That would be a big deal. Maybe 3 to go, but that should be enough to keep us in a good spot.
Keep your head on straight. Be ready.
What's crazy is we need to drive like our life depends on it. 15% in the tires. Do we have 3 or 2? 3 laps to go. We should be fine. We're not going to watch him if we blow a tire. You guys will know. There's no recovering from a blown tire in this track, or any track for that matter. If you're done, you're done. Oof. I am nervous. I am very nervous right now. It's not even us racing. We have to go as fast as possible because Friesen, I mean, there it goes. He gained a 10th right there. That's my point. They can jump right up. We got 2 left. Folks, 7/10 coming up on the last lap. Not looking at the tire wear. We're just going for it. What a race it's been. We've led all the laps, but it's not been a dominant performance from the distance perspective. Friesen the last many laps has been under a second behind us, which has not allowed us to just let up. Gary Norton battling with Stuart Friesen. He's going to take second spot from Friesen. And yet again, Norton having a stellar performance. Friesen battles back as we are going to go through the last 2 turns.
Gotta take care of the tire.
Where we at under 10%, but we were fine because of the caution. We're going to go ahead and bring home the victory. And that was an incredible job by the team. I'm not burning it out. We don't have any tires left. Top 5, Savoy, Norton, Friesen, Kenseth, and Schildhaus. Malone comes in 8th. Koss comes in 9th. Ram 11th. Chavez 13th. Oliveira 18th. Norick 21st. Bethel 22nd. Jones 23rd. Stout comes in 27th. Carpenter 29th. Perez, Kane, and Egan all DNFs in the race. There we are, getting our generic first place trophy. Standing on the F-150 yet again. I think that's 8 or 9 for this season. Fastest lap comes to us with a 31.240. We led 134 of 134 laps. On the move, Matt Kenseth started 30th, finished 4th. Congratulations to him. Casey Kane, tough break, started 8th, DNF'd. All right, folks, another fantastic race for us in the Truck Series. Just 5 races left in the Xfinity Series as well as we get closer and closer to closing out this season in both the Truck and the Xfinity Series. Hopefully, with that victory, I know we've advanced, and I believe that means we advance to the Championship 4, so that's very exciting for us. We can kind of work on making sure we don't have to use that short track truck for the Martinsville race. We'll use one of our Speedway or the best available that's not the short track, just to ensure that our short track truck is primed and ready for the championship race. Still vying to get victories each race. That's the goal, just because more money is great. We're over $500, almost $600,000. That's all going into our Xfinity team. That's going to be a big deal for us as well. That means that we're going to come out and not be bottom of the pack, hopefully, when we end up with our new team. But, folks, that is going to do it for this episode. I'd like to take a moment out, like I like to do, to say thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And until next time, and, of course, as always, you take care.